Welcome again, guys. Uh, Today we shall talk about transistor, that is TDA 2030. TDA 2030 has 5 pins. It has 5 pins. We have pin 1, pin 2, pin 3, pin 4, pin 5. Now, how do we call these pins? So the first pin, number 1, is called non-inverting input. It is non-inverting input. Non-inverting input, and it has another. Its function is it is used for low impedance input. It is used for low impedance input. It is marked by positive sign, so it has positive sign. That one. Pin 2, that is pin 2. Pin 2 is called inverting input. Inverting input. So this is inverting it is pin 2 is inverting input. So its work is to invert the input at the output. It inverts input at the output. It inverts the input at the output. Remember, pin 1 is an inverting input. It doesn't invert any input, but pin 2 is inverting the input at the output. So it is used for high impedance input. Used for high impedance input. It is marked by negative sign. So with pin 2 it is negative sign, while pin 1 it is non-inverting and it is positive. We go to pin 3. What is pin 3? So pin 3 here is the ground. This one is ground. It's the ground. So if you use your meter, you will realize that pin 3 and this part are in continuity, meaning it is the ground. It is the ground of the transistor. Let's go to pin 4. Pin 4. So, sorry. Pin 3, let's talk about pin 3, the ground. Ground supplies 0 voltage to the transistor. It supplies 0 voltage to the transistor, meaning it doesn't carry any voltage. And if you give it a positive voltage, it will glow. This transistor will disappear. So it will smoke and it will be gone. So you won't have any transistor. So the ground is always having negative input. So mostly it is used together with pin 5. It is mostly used together with pin 5, which is the VCC, voltage controlled current. So to power the chip. So let's go to pin 4. Pin 4 is the output. Pin 4 is always used for the output. This is the output. Output signal. Signal to speaker. Just taking the output signal to the speaker. So pin 4 drives the output to the speaker. So all after doing everything, putting the signal, it is getting out to the speaker through pin 4. So pin 4 is the output. Let's go to the last pin. That is pin number 5. 5. This is the supply voltage. This is the supply voltage. So this is the supply voltage. It inputs voltage, that is VCC. It inputs VCC, that is positive voltage. It inputs VCC voltage to the IC. So together with pin 3, that is the ground, they are always working together. They work together. So they work together. So that is how the transistor works. So what we should talk about here is the circuit diagram. TDA 2030 single supply amplifier components. TDA, let's talk about TDA 2030 amplifier components. TDA 2030 amplifier components. So before we draw the circuit diagram, let's start with the requirements. Number 1 is R. Resistor number 1 will be, we shall have 220 kilo ohm. 220 kilo ohm. So 220 kilo ohm, it has what? Remember the color code of resistors. This resistor is having what? Be brown. Be brown wave. So that is the color code. This is brown, brown, black, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Black, brown, black, black, brown, red, orange, orange, have yellow, we have green, have green, have blue, indigo violet, big wave number 8 is violet. So that is how the color will be. So if you are looking for 220k kilo ohm, it means it will be having what? 2 red, 2 red, red, and what? 4. Remember there is 4 zeros. 220k. So we'll have orange, not orange but yellow. It will be yellow and yellow. So that is how you know the color. So if you are using the resistor, is that. Number 2, resistor number 2 is 2.2k. Second resistor is 2.2 kilo ohm. 2.2 kilo ohm. 2.2 kilo ohm. Remember, what will you do? It is R and what? R. So that is 3 red. Red. Then number 3, third, what we need is VR, variable resistor, that is VR, variable resistor. That one will use volume, which is 50 kilo ohm. That is 50 kilo ohm. That will be volume. The fourth component will be capacitor. Capacitor, we shall have several capacitors. Capacitor 1, that one will be 1 microfarad electrolytic, 1 microfarad electrolytic capacitor. Electrolytic capacitor. Another thing we shall need there is the fifth component will be capacitor number 2, which will be 470 microfarad. 470 microfarad. Microfarad, 470 microfarad. It is also electrolytic capacitor. We also need the third capacitor. And the capacitor that we also need, we shall use 220 nanofarad. 2.2 nanofarad. Nanofarad. It is ceramic. That is ceramic capacitor. It is coded 222. Coded 222. That is capacitor we need. We also need 1 nanofarad, which is also ceramic. 7. We need 1 nanofarad ceramic. 1 nanofarad ceramic, and this capacitor is coded 102. It is coded 102. So we also have, for this TDA2030 to produce audio, we shall also use a capacitor that is 2700 microfarad, that is electrolytic. The next thing, that is the component, will be capacitor. Fifth capacitor, that is 2700 microfarad. Microfarad electrolytic. Electrolytic capacitor. So this capacitor is the one which will be used to store the excess charges of the circuit or the component. So let's check the circuit diagram. Let's see the circuit diagram. You can list them somewhere so that you check together with what? The diagram. So this is working. So this is the capacitor. This is our capacitor. We also have this part. So we shall just label the pins. For now, we shall just label the pins. These are the pins. So we said that this is pin 1, pin 2, now pin 1, pin 2, pin 3 here, pin 4, pin 4 there, and pin 5. So those are our pins. So up there we have this VCC. VCC we can use from 3 voltage to 12 voltage, 3 to 12 voltage, 3 to 12 voltage. So this voltage is coming directly to here, pin 5. It is entering here, there at pin 5. So we have pin 4. We have what? Pin 4. Pin 4 is going directly to the speaker. It's going directly to the speaker. That is the speaker. So that is pin 4. Pin 4, as I said, it is the output pin. So that pin is going to the speaker. So that pin again is the one, is the capacitor. That is capacitor number 5. This one we shall put capacitor 5 there. We said it is 2700 microfarad. That speaker is also grounded. It is also, let me use different color. It is also grounded. It's also grounded to 0 voltage. 0 voltage. So this pin 4 again, we said it is what? It is being inverted. It is being inverted. The output voltage, remember we talked about output voltage. It is being inverted here. It is being inverted there. To what? With capacitor number 4. You can check. Capacitor 4. Capacitor 4, which is 1 nanofarad. 1 nanofarad, that is 102. So it is being inverted. It is being inverted to pin 2. Back to pin 2. It is being inverted up to pin 2. So that is, this is how it goes. That one is being inverted to pin 2. Again, resistor. Okay, resistor. So shall also have resistor. Shall have a resistor. We say that resistor is resistor number, resistor 1. That is the first resistor. We put it there. So that resistor we put there, and this resistor is connected to what? It's connected to ground. It's connected to ground, or that is that. Or again, this circuit is also going to what? There is that nanofarad. That is the nanofarad that we are talking about. The nanofarad. So that is it. That nanofarad. There is capacitor. So that is how the circuit is. That's how it is. So there put capacitor number. That is capacitor number 2. Okay, this is capacitor number 2. This is capacitor 2. And this is capacitor 3. This is capacitor 3. Okay. So we remain with pin 3, pin 1. Pin 3 we said is called what? Non-inverting pin. It is non-inverting. It is not inverting anything. That is pin. That is pin 1. It is used to give the input signal. It is the one that brings input inside the system. So you can see there, that is the pin, and it has what? It has a capacitor there. We talked about this capacitor. This capacitor that filter signal there before it enters inside the what? Inside the transistor. So this is the capacitor. We talked about this capacitor number 1. That capacitor there. So this capacitor is going to the variable resistor. It is going to what? The variable resistor here. The variable resistor. Remember we talked about variable resistor here. Is that variable resistor? Variable what? Resistor. So that is how the resistor is. So this is what? This is the variable resistor. We named it what? Called it VR. VR. This is the VR. So we remain with pin 3. Where do you think pin 3 is? Ground direct. There is no resistor, no capacitor. It is ground direct. So it is what? Ground. Let's use black. Black always represents ground. So that is it. So this one is able to do what? Generate output. So if you have any, but remember again, we didn't use resistor 2. So resistor 2 we can place it somewhere here. And place it there so that it is the one that regulates signal that is going inside the transistor. So it will be helpful in resisting signal that is going inside the circuit. So with this one we are able to do what? Is get our sound. That is the output speaker. Okay. That's the output speaker.